Hey, it's John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. And, you know, we brewed a couple of beers during our live stream in early November. And if you tuned in last week, we had one beer. This is the second one. This is the 2022 Brewed Johnny Harvest Ale. And I'll take you through the recipe as Mike is examining the beer over there onto my right. We'll start with water. I use tap water for this, treated with a Campden Tablet. And the grains are as such. 5 pounds of Rahr Pale Malt, that's 2.3 kilograms, 44% of the bill. 5 pounds of Simpsons Golden Promise Malt, 2.3 kilograms again. Another 44% of the bill. And then we got cuckoo crazy, 12 ounces of Briess Blonde RoastOat Malt. 340 grams. That's why you're tasting it. That's 7% of the bill. And then 8 ounces of Flaked Barley, because I had it in my fridge. That's 227 grams, 4% of the bill. These are all like rounded up, so if you counted up all those percentages, not 100, but close enough. All right, hops. It's all homegrown hops from the side of my yard, from the old Chinook hop vine. I went with the reading we got from the old University of Vermont lab, so 11.8% alpha acid. We'll say that's what we got here in old 2022. So we threw 2 ounces, 56 grams for 60 minutes in the boil. Same amount, 2 ounces, 56 grams for 20 minutes, and then again 2 ounces, 56 grams at flameout. The yeast was Omega Yeast, OYL 052, DIPA yeast. Mashed this at 1050 degrees Fahrenheit, 66 degrees Celsius for 60 minutes. And this was also fermented for 2 weeks at 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius. That's what I do. Like, that's what I do. That's what I do.
It works.
The original gravity on this sucker was 1056. The final gravity was 1011 for an ABV percentage of 5.91%. So, yeah, I'm getting some senses on the old aroma. What are you thinking?
I don't know what word to use to describe this aroma.
Jeez,
this is a unique.
Unique is fine.
It's like a cross between. There's like watermelon rind, and like there's a grassiness to it. I think there's definitely like a sweet grass to it.
It doesn't smell like garbage, does it?
No, it tastes better than it smells. I like the flavor profile because now I'm getting some of the malt character to help with the presentation of the hop. There is now a lingering like pithiness, hop pithiness on the palate, roof of the mouth. Sort of taste it, but yeah, it's like a melon, almost like a bay leaf. Limey thing going on there.
Yeah. Like when I said, when I was sniffing it, I said you're going to have comments because.
Yeah. Is there a cocktail with like gin and lime juice? I mean, not okay. So that's stupid. Like a gin and tonic, but not that. There's something like a gin and mint. Oh, it's almost like
something. Yeah. It's
some sort of gin julep going on there. It's really weird.
It's an herbal plus a fruity, but not citrus fruit.
Yep.
It's like a stone fruit. It's like a melon.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Like a fleshy fruit.
A fleshy white peach fruit. But that's I
get more like green melon, watermelon rind is what is the fruit I get.
Totally.
If you like really, when you're a kid, you're eating watermelon, and it's so good, and you're just gonna eat a little bit more of that white, and then eventually this is right on that cutting edge there of that. The pink is gone, but now you're in that the stuff that people usually like pickling watermelon rind. That's what that's for. It's
3:30 p.m. on 4th of July, and you're like chomping down on the last the last bit of watermelon.
I
and
hope
that's
people
what I'm
can appreciate these descriptors.
Yeah, I do.
We work
Because you
hard.
just took me back to like 1980s. I'm like,
You're welcome.
yeah, I'm like aging myself. It's okay. I've aged.
Spitting seeds.
Anyway, so like that's it's not an unpleasant. It's just different.
It's just different. It's unexpected. So it's taking some time to like adjust to it.
So go through the flavor with me. What's because I don't think that really plays through to the flavor. I'm getting more citrus in the flavor.
Yep.
I would say it's like grapefruit, pithy.
Yeah. Yep.
You know.
Yep.
It's not as strong as it's been in years past.
No, it's almost like yellow fleshed grapefruit, not like the red stuff, but the yellow stuff that's maybe, you know what? You buy a grapefruit, you cut it in half, right? And you have one half today for breakfast, and then the other one you forget about it on the next day.
Have you wrapped it in like
you wrapped it in plastic, but then a day, like 2 days later, you're like, oh, the grapefruit, and you eat it. So it's dried out a little bit. It's not as zesty as it was, but it's not as luscious as it was.
You're right.
That's what I'm getting in the flavor.
You're
is
right.
that is just a white, yellowy grapefruit.
Little dried out.
Little dried out.
Yep.
That lost a little bit of its edge.
Crazy, but true. I'm like, you're totally right.
That's how you taste things.
That's how you taste it. You gotta think.
Put experience to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody can do this.
So, okay, so the two things that I was kind of going with this was like, I love the blonde RoastOat Malt. And I think that's I think there's some play with that in this. I think the other thing is the Omega Yeast DIPA.
Yep.
I think that's throwing some weirdness
I think that's
to it.
probably doing something interesting too.
Yeah. Because last year I used the Verdant, dry IPA yeast, and I really liked that.
Yeah.
And I had a packet of that,
Yeah.
but then I was like, it's kind of like that meme where you're like the Verdant's over here, and I'm like, ooh, DIPA, yeah, like, let me grab that. So I used that. I think it's pulling out. That's why we're getting a little bit more of those melon aromas.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening there. Yeah, maybe it is like maybe some of that roast oat on. No, that's potentially, but I think those aromas are yeast derived.
Yeah.
That's my take. It'll be interesting to see how this progresses. I always bottle up something, and then 12 months later we drink it again during our live stream for the harvest.
Yeah.
We'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, the one that we tried, that was like super clean.
It was absolutely, and I really liked that one. That was
that was really interesting.
I think the one I did 21 and 20, really great.
Yeah. Before I taste next year's, I got to rewatch this video and see what I said about this one, because although I'll remember this is pretty unique.
This one will stick with you.
Yeah.
It's like PTSD or something. Check that out. 2021 Harvest Ale, Brew Dudes. Look it up on YouTube. It's the same hops. I mean, of course, it's a different year. Our summer here was hot and dry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe that.
I'm not sure how that of course it affects the hops. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But I'm also changing the recipe every single year. It's not like I'm using the
Your homebrew. You got to keep it fresh.
Dude, I'm like, oh, I have 5 pounds of Golden Promise. I should really use that in something.
Yeah.
And I'll just supplement that with I don't know, the cheapest malt I can get, and I'll just get some Rahr and throw it in there. And then it's like Flaked Barley. I think the Flaked Barley actually makes it super smooth, honestly. I think the mouthfeel is tremendous. I think of all the qualities of this beer, I think the mouthfeel is the best part of it all.
I think the combination of barley and the roasted oats there, the blonde roasted oats, toasted oats, or whatever they're called, I can't remember, but I do love those, the
RoastOat Malt.
Yep, that was,
blonde.
Those two things are coming together pretty nicely. Yeah.
So those 3 packets, I had 4-ounce packets, I had 3 of them. Each one, I even said that on the live stream, I went by the booth 3 times, and I just grabbed one as I walked by. So that's what went into this beer. All right, well, we've talked about it. If you can grow your own hops, grow them every year. Use them in your beer. Do something with them. And, you know, every year will be marked with some kind of strange experiment. Some will be good, some will be different, some will be, I'm sure, horrendous. But it's all part of the home brewing experience. And like, that's why we say brew on, because you know, it's all about trying stuff and having fun. Geez, let's have some fun. Let's not try to be perfect each and every beer. Like, it's all right. It's going to be just fine. Like, even if you got to pour it down the drain, there's more beer to be brewed. So, all right. Well, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate your time and attention. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe to our channel because we love doing this and we do this kind of thing every single week. For John and Mike, brew-foods.com, brew on.
Cheers.